So, good morning to all my dear students. Today we will start our lecture associated with the industrial pharmacy first. Okay, so students, we are already onto the tablet coating defects. See, till so far we had gone through the what is the tablet, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what are the ideal properties that are needed for a particular tablet. Then we saw what is the mixing, what is the granulation, what is the compression. We saw the different ways by which we can go for producing the granules. We saw the different methods of granulation, that is the wet granulation, dry granulation. Then we had gone through the process of compression, how it will occur. We saw compression, consolidation. We saw the single station, we saw the multiple station machinery. We saw the defects that are occurring in case of tablet. Further, we had gone through the different processes of the tablet coatings, in which we saw there is a film coating, there is a sugar coating, and there is a compression coating. Sugar coating that will consist of the 5 to 6 different sub steps, that is said to be the sealing, subcoating, then polishing, then coloring, then printing, isn't it? Then smoothing that will come after the sealing, subcoating, smoothing, then polishing, then coloring, then printing. So all these are the steps. Later we saw the film coating. Nowadays, whatever the tablets that are coming into the market, every tablet that is film coated one, based on the requirement. So if you want to modify the drug release pattern, we have to go for the functional coatings. And if we don't want to modify the drug release pattern, we have to go with the non-functional. So non-functional, that is the immediate film coating, immediate release film coating, and the functional, that is the modified release film coating. So modified release, with the help of modified release, what we want, we can modify, we can improve the drug release pattern. That might be in the form of the controlled release, in the form of the sustained release, likewise. Now when we are giving all these coating, during the process of coating, again the process of coating, that is not a perfect phenomena. Some errors are there, some defects are there. And what are all these defects? That already we saw few of the defects in our previous lecture. So the number of defects that are occurring during the process of coating, that is the twinning, cracking, blistering, chipping, cratering, picking, pitting, blushing, blooming, blushing, then color variation, then infilling, and the orange fill. So already we are onto the picking. I think in our last lecture we were discussing the picking, but suddenly due to the shortage of time we could not able to complete this. So we will start with the picking, and we will try to cover all these in our today's lecture. If possible, we will move to the tablet evaluation also. So that will depend on the time, right? Okay. So what the picking is, picking, how we can define the process of picking, we are talking about what? We are talking about the tablet coating defects. Don't mix the tablet defects with that of the tablet coating defect, right? So the tablet defect, these are during the process of or after the process of compression, and tablet coating defect, these are occurring after the process of coating. Okay. So definition of picking, how we can say or how we can define the picking? Picking, it will be defined as a part of the film sticks to the pan, resulting to some of the tablet pieces being detached from the core. You can say this is the core and some portion of the tablet surface that will get detached. So this process is said to be the picking, right? So how this picking will occur? Because this portion that will touching to the tablet coating pan, and once the tablet that is getting moved from that location during the process of coating, sometimes the chances are there that it will get removed. While in case of tablet compression, again tablet defect, in case of tablet defect there is also picking. So it is because of what? It is because of adhering the surface to that of the upper punches, and during the process of ejection, during the process of shifting or movement of punches into the upward direction, the portion that will get removed. So that is also defined, that is also called as the picking. But there it is associated with the punches, here it is associated with the pan. That is the basic difference. There it was associated with the tablet surface, here it is associated with the tablet coatings. Are you getting my point? Okay. What are the causes for occurrence of the picking? The first reason is the overweighting of the tablet by the polymer solution. If we are overweighting, that may lead to the process of picking. Insufficient or the rapid drying process, that will also causes the picking. Higher rate of application of the coating solution than it is required, so that will causes the picking. Now in order to solve, in order to not occur this process of picking, what the measures we should take, what the remedy we should adopt? So the remedy is increasing the efficiency of the drying process. For example, by increasing the air inlet temperature, decreasing the rate of applying the coating solution, isn't it? The larger coating solution that will lead to picking. So why we should not go for reducing, or why we should not go for decreasing the rate of application of the coating solution, which may act as a remedy. Increasing the solution viscosity. If the solution, coating solution, that is too much less viscous, then that will lead to the picking. So in order to avoid that, we may go for increasing the viscosity of the coating solution. The next defect which is occurring in tablet coating process, that is the pitting. Now what is the pitting? Pitting, that is nothing but the deformation of core of the tablet without any visible signs of disruption of the film coating. So there is a deformation, it is not uniform, it is somewhat disturbed one, it is the abraded surface, that is said to be the pitting. Now, what are the causes? Increase of tablet core temperature than the melting point of the material used in its preparation. So, whatever the melting point of the polymer material which we are using, more than that, if there is an increase into the temperature of the tablet core, so that will cause the pitting. Non-uniform spreading of the film, improper spraying of the solution. So again that will lead to the defect which is said to be the pitting. What is the remedy? The remedy is associated with the control of drying temperature, or to use the optimum drying temperature. That is the solution for the process of avoiding the pitting problem during the process of tablet coating. Blooming. Blooming is what? How we can define? The fading or dulling of tablet color after a prolonged period of storage at room temperature. That is said to be the blooming. What it is? It is the process of fading. It is the process of dulling of the tablet color after a prolonged period of storage at a high temperature. This defect is said to be the blooming. Blooming. Now, what is the cause to this? How it will occur? Why it will occur? It will occur as a result of changes in the composition of the surface film. If the composition of the surface film coating solution is changed, that will lead to the blooming effect. Using too much plasticizer, if we are using the too much plasticizer, then that will lead to the process of blooming. using a plasticizer with low molecular weight. Low molecular weight plasticizer, these are responsible for occurring or for producing the blooming effect. So, what will be the remedy? Decrease the concentration of the plasticizer in the polymer or use a high molecular weight plasticizer. So, based on the causes, we can go for choosing the particular remedy in order to rectify, in order to correct the defect. Blushing. Next is the blushing. You can see the blushing, how it will occur onto the tablet surface. Haziness or appearance of white specks, particles of polymer that has precipitated in the film. So this surface is said to be the blushing, and it is the result of precipitation of the polymeric material which will lead to the appearance of the white specks onto the tablet surface. What will be the cause? Use of excessive high coating temperature. If the coating temperature that is much high, that will lead to the blushing effect. Gelation of the polymeric material, the gel formation of the polymeric material, that will cause the blushing problem. Now, in order to treat this, we can go for decreasing the drying temperature. If the drying temperature that will be reduced, that will not allow to cause the blushing effect, or avoiding the use of sorbitol with polymers such as hydroxypropyl cellulose, hydroxymethyl cellulose, methyl cellulose, and cellulose ethers. So if we avoid the use of all these, we may go for correcting the blushing effect. The color variation, which is also known as mottling. Mottling defect is also present in case of the tablet defects, right? So variation in the color of tablet within a batch, that is said to be the color variation or mottling. What it is? It is the variation in the color of the tablet, and it is occurring in case of the tablet surface. What will be the causes? The causes will be either poor mixing or uneven spray pattern of the machinery or insufficient coating migration of soluble diplasticizer and other addition during the process of drying, right? So these will be the causes that will lead to the process of mottling. Now, in order to avoid that process of mottling, what will be the remedy? The remedy will be to go for use of lake dyes, right? So which will be free from that of the dye migration problem, so which will not allow to occur the mottling effect. Now, the aim should be for even geometric mixing. The process of mixing, that should be in the proper order, into the correct order. We should go for using the geometric order. We should take first a small quantity of ingredient. We should mix it with that of the ingredient with the slight larger quantity. When there is a uniform mixing, then we should mix this mixture with that of the third ingredient, third excipient with the larger quantity. So we should go on increasing, we should go on increasing the mixing process, we should go on maintaining the order in the ascending fashion from small to that of the larger weight. So that is the geometric mixing. Reformulate with different plasticizer and additives and or use mild drying conditions. We can go for changing, we can go for modifying, we can go for using some alternative plasticizers and additives in case of the coating solution. And we should use the mild drying conditions. That means too much high temperature should not be used during the process of drying of coatings. So in order to avoid the process of color variation and mottling effect. Infilling, isn't it? You can see there is a difference between these two tablets. One tablet in which we could not able to read what the imprinting is there onto the tablet surface, whereas In another, we can very clearly read it. It is the color bond, right? So what the infilling is, the monogram or the bisect is filled and become narrow, right? Sometimes most of the tablet that will contain a single line like this. So that line that is for breaking or dividing the dose of the tablet. Even that will get filled, right? That is said to be the bisect. When it will get filled, it will become very narrow, and we could not able to identify that particular line in order to break the tablet. Right, same is the case associated with the printings. The printing that is for the process of identification, or sometimes the color, or sometimes the name, or sometimes the dosage strength, or sometimes the name of the company that is imprinted onto the tablet surface. So if it will get infilled, then it is very difficult to identify the tablet. What will be the causes? The causes will be uneven spreading of the coating solution and the film. So that is the cause which will lead to the infilling defect. High amount and rate of application of the coating solution. If we are using larger amount of coating solution, if we are applying it in a very faster way, if the rate of spray is not adjusted, that will lead to this defect, which is said to be the infilling. How we can treat this? What is the remedy? The remedy is to add alcohol to the polymeric solution to improve the process of dispersion. Addition of the alcohol. Use a spray nozzle capable of finer atomization. So we have to use the spray solution. So what the spray will do? The spray that will causes to generate the aerosol particles of in the form of fine mist, so that will get uniformly adhered onto the tablet surface instead of just pouring. The last defect, which is said to be the orange peel. You can see the surface of the tablet, they are showing the rough surface. So this roughness is said to be the orange peel effect, as it seems to that of the surface of the orange. That's why this is said to be the orange peel. Why it is? Because, or how it is described, a rough surface like orange peel, that is said to be the orange peel. What will be the causes? The causes will be the rapid process of drying, the poor tablet composition causing it to become soft, and too high a spray pressure combined with fast spray rate. So this will causes the effect which is said to be the orange peel, and it is one of the defect of the tablet coating. Now this can be treated with the help of the remedy. The remedy we can use mild drying conditions. The temperature that should be adjusted and it should be optimized so that the process of roughness should not appear onto the surface, because the coating solution that will contain the polymeric agents, that will contain the plasticizers, and higher temperature that may causes this rough effect. Use additional solvent to decrease the viscosity of the polymer solution so that the spraying rate can be reduced. What we need to do? We need to use the additional solvent in order to decrease the viscosity of the polymeric solution so that the spraying rate that can be reduced. Right. So all these are the tablet coating defects, and these can be treated with the help of these remedies. So dear student, till so far we had gone through the number of tablet defects like say the orange peel, infilling, color variations, blushing, blooming, pitting, picking, then cratering, then chipping, then blistering, then cracking, and then thinning. So all these effects we saw what they are, their description, what are their causes, and how these can be treated one, isn't it? So this we saw till so far. Now let's start with the new topic from the tablet. Again, it is related with the process of evaluation of the tablet. Now here what we have to learn, we have to learn that what are the different quality control tests of the tablet. These are also said to be the QC test and how we can go for evaluation process and presentation of the data, presentation of the results in order to conform to that of the standard. We will go through some of the official and some of the unofficial methods. Now, what is the official and unofficial? Official, it is the one which is mentioned into the official pharmacopoeias, like say the Indian pharmacopoeia, British pharmacopoeia, and the United States of pharmacopoeia, or Martindale or Remington, right? Then we will go through the graphical representation. So our pattern, our lecture plan, it will be like this: to study the QC of the tablet, to study what are the apparatures that are used, then official and unofficial different methods, and the representation of these different tests. Now we saw that the tablet that will contain the drug, that will contain the excipient, that will passes through the stages of mixing, granulation, it is subjected to the compaction, it will subjected to that of the coating, and once all this is done, there is need to go for evaluation, which is ultimately called as the QC. Now we know that what is required in order to ensure the quality, that is the stability, effectiveness and safety of the formulation. Now that can be determined through the quality only, and quality that can be assured through the tests which we are performing in the quality control and quality assurance department. So these all tests are said to be the QC test. Now, tablet that can be evaluated through the various official QC tests. Now, you can note that all these three are the official tests. That is the dissolution, content uniformity, that is the wet variation, and disintegration. All these three are the official tests. That means all these are mentioned into the official books for that particular drug. Whereas there are some of the unofficial tests which are not mentioned into the official books and which are said to be the non-official or unofficial QC test. So what are all these unofficial QC tests? These are mechanical strength, tablet size and shape, thickness, and average weight. All these are the unofficial QC tests. As far as the mechanical strength of the tablet is concerned, it is in terms of the tensile strength, hardness, and the friability test, which is performed onto the tablets. Let's come to the very first, that is the dissolution, which is one of the official tests. Now, this dissolution, few details already we had studied in our previous lectures, right? So dissolution, how it will be defined? Dissolution is defined as the process by which a known amount of drug substance that will goes into solution. What is dissolution? It is the process of going the drug into the solution. It is the process of going drug into the solution, isn't it? Now, when we want to define, it should be the known amount. How much amount had gone into the solution in a given time, per unit time, under standardized condition. Under standardized condition, that means standard temperature, standard volume, standard speed of rotation, in order to mimic, in order to give the in vivo effect. So that is the definition, standard official definition for the dissolution. I will repeat it. Dissolution is defined as, it is a process. It is a process by which a known amount of drug substance that will goes into solution per unit of a time under standardized conditions. The conditions are standard one. Now, dissolution, that is for characterization. What is the purpose? That is for characterization. That is for characterizing the biopharmaceutical quality of a product at different stages in its life cycle. Isn't it? Life cycle. That means what? It is produced. During the process, it is done. After production, it is done. After several months it is done in order to ensure this stability, in order to ensure the quality of the product. That is a several stages of its life cycle. For choosing between the different alternative formulations for further development. Let us say, for example, if two different formulations are there, and if they are giving either same or different dissolution profile, then they can be studied for further research point of view. So that's why, or this is the reason that why the dissolution that is needed to be performed. Dissolution testing is an official test recommended by all pharmacopoeias for evaluating drug release of solid and semi-solid dosage forms. Isn't it? The dissolution, it is to be performed to the solid and semi-solid dosage form. Note that it is not for the liquid dosage form because they are already into the solution. Isn't it? Just they need to absorb, just they need to traverse, just they need to transfer through the biological membrane. So again, this is the sometimes asked in case of GPAT examination, tricky question. Like dissolution is performed onto the solution.